Okay, it is Monday, which means it is time to recap some of the Blue Jackets games for the past week. I've been doing plenty of coverage of the Blue Jackets trade deadline wheeling and dealings of the past week or so, but now it's time to actually get into the results on the ice. Last Tuesday in Buffalo against the Sabres, they won 5-3. It was Merzlikins versus Anderson. Kent Johnson scoring early on the power play in this one, but Tage Thompson would answer with a goal of his own less than a minute later. But Robinson getting a puck in the slot and scoring. First period ending with the Blue Jackets leading 2-1 after one period. Elvis was holding steady in the second until Eric Robinson would get another look from pretty point-blank range, scoring again, giving the Jackets kind of a boost that they needed in that one. The Sabres were starting to turn the tide a little bit as far as momentum. Boone Jenner adding one more just before the second period ended on a beautiful move to get around the Sabres defender and patent the puck past Craig Anderson. It was a really pretty goal by him to end the second. And the Blue Jackets, they never make things easy for these kind of things, as Jack Quinn and JJ Peterka both got goals to make it a one-goal game, but the Jackets did hold on long enough for Eric Robinson to get an empty net goal and complete his first NHL hat trick. So, tip of the cap, for a hat trick or whatever to Eric Robinson. Got himself a kepi. That's nice to see. Solid win there, but then the month of March would start, and in between this game and Friday's game against Seattle, it would be Sean Kuraly suffering an oblique strain, and that's probably going to sideline him for the rest of the season. That is unfortunate for him, and just another bad injury situation that we've seen for this Blue Jackets team. Speaking of that game against the Kraken at home on Friday, they would lose 4-2. It was Merzlikins versus Grubauer. Lane Peterson in for Sean Kuraly. The first period was scoreless, but the Kraken were in more of control of the game, but it would be Patrick Laine breaking the drought on the power play sniped by him. Though that lead would not last long, McCann answering with a power play goal of his own, and Jordan Eberle less than a minute after that, giving Seattle a one-goal lead. Boqvist tying it early in the third, but it was Alexander Wenberg coming back to haunt the Blue Jackets, doing some damage on the power play to put the Kraken up by one. Jackets couldn't get the equalizer, sorry about that, and it was Tanev with an empty net goal, which was kind of a too bad of a result, because even though it does help the tank and, best odds for Bedard and all that, Elvis was pretty good in this one. I felt like he kind of deserved a bit of a better result. He's been looking better as of late. And then you get to the Saturday game against the Senators. It was a back-to-back, Merzlikins versus Talbot, so Elvis getting the start in some back-to-back games, and that might have, come back to haunt him a little bit, although the entire Blue Jackets team came out of the gate looking really slow and sloppy. Senators dominating early, and it was Hamonic putting Ottawa up 1-0. And then Jack Roslovic answering kind of against the grain of play seconds after, but Tim Stützle would restore the Sens lead before the period ending. Jacob Chychrun getting his first point with the Sens on that Stützle goal, and it was Hamonic and Jacob Chychrun scoring his first goal with the Senators early in the second period, making it a 4-1 game. Elvis Merzlikins gets the crane, and Michael Hutchinson making his first appearance in a Blue Jackets sweater. Can't really blame this one on Elvis. I believe when it was 4-1, the Blue Jackets only had put up 4 collective shots, so the entire team was sleepwalking in that one. Game calmed down a little bit after that. Patrick Laine getting a laser past Talbot to get Columbus within 2. The Jackets weren't getting a whole lot going in the third period, however, and Tim Stützle getting a shorthanded breakaway goal after Blankenberg was tripped, and the refs just didn't really call it. I'm not saying that affected the outcome of the game. It wasn't. Senators were winning that game regardless, but it was still kind of annoying to see. So another week for the Jackets where they get that win over the Sabres, but that weekend back-to-back with Seattle and Ottawa after the trade deadline really took a lot of wind out of the sails that the Blue Jackets were having. And, like I've been saying, for the people that have been a little concerned about the Blue Jackets play as of late and how it's been maybe too good for the tank. I've been talking about the schedule in March and how the March schedule is pretty brutal. And, the month of March hasn't started good for the Jackets as far as getting wins and getting standings points. They are still last in the league, so they haven't been punished by winning more than they probably should have been if you're actually trying to tank. They're still last. They still have the best odds for Bedard, and they have a game against Pittsburgh tomorrow in Pittsburgh, and we all know how that goes by now. So thank you all for watching this far. If you made it into the video, I will see you at the next one.